like to bring up Jim Goetz to talk about his visit to the Yerkes and Lick observatories.
It's a piece of the Space Shuttle installation, the outer tile. Picked it up at Kennedy Space Center. I don't know what it's worth, but the highest bidder gets to take it home and the money goes to the club. So I'll just leave it here. This is Mount Hamilton in California. This is looking west. It's up at 4,200 feet. It's about an hour from the city, and it takes about half an hour to drive up this road. It's really, really slow, but this is the road that all the equipment came up, so it's kind of annoying. But I went down here. I came up. It took me 3 hours to come up the other side. Okay. This is the Lick. This is the mountain that the Lick Observatory is on. This is the edge of the parking lot, looking down. Great Lick refractor. There's this 36-inch telescope, built exactly the same way as by the same company that built the Yerkes one. It was built. First light was 1888, so actually this was the largest telescope in the world for 11 years until Yerkes came on board. Once again, we have a main building, a large dome, and another dome, small dome here. And this is taken from the other peak that's about 150 meters to the east, and that one actually has place actually has at least half the telescopes are still being used. That's the front door with the large dome, small dome. People cycle up the hill. Yeah, California. This is looking to the east, and this is the 3-meter Shan telescope. While I was waiting for a tour, I walked over there, and on the way, of course, in the desert in California, you get all these warnings, and one of them is for mountain lions, and one is for rattlesnakes and stuff like that. But I always think this is particularly funny because if you meet a mountain lion, you're supposed to stand up and just walk back slowly, which is okay, it makes sense. And if he gets any closer, you're supposed to be large and scream and yell and everything like this. But I think they got the graphic wrong here. They say just pick up your kids and make sure they're in between you and the mountain lion. And if it's hard to fight back, I think the first instinct is just to fling something that you got in your hand, or run faster than your person with you. There's a picture down by the Mexican, just inside the American border, and it shows a family. It's a black figures on a yellow background. There's a yellow caution sign. So it's a Mexican family running in silhouette, and it's a really official sign. I bet. Okay, this is the Shan 3-meter telescope. It was its first light was 1959, so it's been used, but it's been upgraded a lot, and it's reflectors, so it's a really still a functioning telescope. I'm quite sure it's a bit of a maintenance nightmare, but it's probably still worth it. And behind this, the Shan telescope was here. These are two telescopes. One is KAIT, and this is the newest telescope. It's called the APF, which is the Automated Planet Finder. It's about a 2-meter, a meter and a half telescope, but its job is to search for exoplanets. And it's the newest telescope. So all of these telescopes, except for maybe this one, are still functioning. A lot of them are used remotely, like the APF, but Mount Hamilton is still a functioning observatory. And this is a iron meteorite from the Barringer crater. I don't know how could it fly through space all those years and hit right in the middle of the crater. I don't know. Amazing how that works.
Precision.
Yeah. Well, if JPL can do it, we can do it. But it's a nice chunk of rock. There's a lot of.
Probably weighs more than your car.
What's that?
It probably weighs more than your car.
It'll put on when hit my car. Just some instruments. This is some sort of electrostatic meter or something. I don't know. It's like science. This is their instrument display. Like I said, it's on the other end of the building from the main telescope. This is the 36-inch telescope. Like I said, it looks almost exactly the same. Let's see. This one is 36 inches or 0.9 meters. The tube is 57 feet long, and they got the focal length wrong when they first put it up there. So they had to take a hacksaw and cut the tube to shorten the focal length. I don't know where they cut it, but I'm quite sure they didn't cut the big tube.
That's so familiar.
Now, the Lick Observatory was originally financed by a guy named James Lick, and he spent a lot of his life outside of the United States in strange places in the world making money, and he had great success. Everything he'd go to Panama, and there'd be some sort of financial crisis or some sort of revolution going on. He'd walk out with 10 times as much money as he went in with, even though it was, I don't know, maybe he's just a crisis monger or something like this. But he made money in a lot of things, but he'd lose a wife. And then he'd go to another country and he'd make a huge amount of money and he'd lose somebody in his family. And he wound up in California being the wealthiest man in California. And I think Hale got a hold of him, somebody got a hold of him and said, what are you going to do with all your money? Why don't you make a permanent monument for it? Make a permanent monument and make humanity a better thing, and we'll advance science and everything like this. And plus we can make it a tombstone. So at the base of this column, where it enters the bedrock, is where he's buried. And it's the one picture I didn't take. But I did get a picture of it. So it's, once again, it's a big dome. It's a little smaller, but really it's the same types of mechanisms, 19th century technology. This guy was really inspirational. He's one of those guys who just seems to have spent about 40 or 50 years in astronomy. Loves it, talks about it, this is his life. And he's on staff there. This is the reason why these things will always be historical monuments, because people will, the docents coming with their backgrounds make the whole thing so much better. And once again, you see it's structurally the same, except for the fact that the dome here is covered with wood. The dome in Yerkes is made of brick. And I like this. So same sort of setup at the back here by the eyepiece. Yeah, I gotta get close to that to take pictures of it. And here lies the body of James Lick, and this is the base of the where it goes into the bedrock. There's something I've missed here. All right, some of the things this was the telescope that found the fifth moon of Jupiter, the Almathea. It's got a long list of accomplishments and what it's seen, and what's really cool is when they get a mist or a low-lying fog in the valley, it wipes out all the light pollution. So it's even better. They got the city of San Jose to change this lighting, and that increased the lifespan of this the useful lifespan of this telescope, because they cut down on light pollution. They've got a nice little cafeteria in there, and because I said the size of the floor on the Yerkes Observatory is 30 meters, which is equivalent to the size of the mirror the mirror array on the Canadian-US Hawaii telescope. I had to put this picture in. Its first light will be 2022, and that's when I'm going to Hawaii again. So who's going?
Question. Is
Yeah.
that the one that they had all their problems getting the building permits because of the weather? Yeah. That's the one?
Yes.
I guess.
Yeah, they have a lot of legal challenges there.
Yeah.
But it has been approved, right?
It's what?
It was approved, right?
Yes.
Yes.
They're still protesting against it, but it's been approved.
Any other questions? Cool. Now the dome at Yerkes is falling apart. All the brick is old, and I don't think it was baked properly, so bits and pieces were falling off. I've got 2 pieces of Yerkes brick here if you want them. If you want to give a donation to the club, but I just don't want to take them home because they've been sitting on my shelf for 3 months, and I'm not good for moving here. Anybody have any questions? God, you survived it.
Jim, could you go back to that wooden floor just a few slides back? Is that the rings of Saturn or anything? Or is it just the design that they felt was putting in?
I don't know what it is.
It's kind of neat, right, as they do the light and dark wood all the way around it.
Yeah.
It's a good point, actually.
But you notice-
See if that's the Yankee Gap and all that kind of stuff.
It's all.
Were you on a guided tour of this thing, or just self?
Yeah, they're guided tours every day, 3 or 4 or 5 day. And Yerkes runs on the weekends, and you can go in and wander around. But it's good to go on a guided tour because you get people talking about it. It's really real. There's a lot of history here, a lot of stories and everything. And it's like these guys will just talk forever. The only thing that keeps them from talking forever is they have another tour coming in. So, yeah. Whenever you get a chance, whenever I go to a city and they offer ghost tours or walking tours of the cities, I always go on those. But yeah, always go. I went on one to a fossil site of early man in Spain, and they said, "It's only in Spanish," and I said, "I don't care. I'll get a word here or there or whatever." Yeah, it's. Oh, sorry, I just went.